The message arrived on a Tuesday morning. It was short, formal, and devastating. Earth's application for a seat on the Galactic Council had been denied. Kate Rogers stared at the holographic message floating above her desk, reading it for the 5th time. The blue light cast shadows across her face as she pushed a strand of brown hair behind her ear. After careful consideration of Earth's application for full membership status, the Galactic Council has determined that human civilization does not yet meet the necessary criteria for a council seat. While we acknowledge humanity's rapid technological advancement, we find your species too unpredictable and not yet mature enough for the responsibilities of full galactic citizenship. Kate closed her eyes. 3 years of diplomatic work, gone. Earth had spent decades preparing for this application since first contact 20 years ago. They had followed every rule, completed every form, met every stated requirement. The office door slid open with a soft hiss. Sam Winters, Kate's assistant, entered with 2 cups of coffee. "Bad news?" he asked, seeing her expression. "The worst." Kate gestured to the message. "They rejected our application." Sam placed the coffee on her desk and read the floating text. His normally cheerful face darkened. "That's ridiculous. The Peloran got a seat last year, and they've only been spacefaring for 80 years. We've been exploring beyond our solar system for almost that long now." "Politics," Kate said simply, taking a sip of her coffee. "The old powers don't want to share influence." Her comm unit buzzed. "Ambassador Rogers, emergency meeting in 30 minutes, presidential order." Within the hour, Kate sat at a large oval table in the United Earth Government headquarters in Geneva. Around her were the 12 members of the Earth Diplomatic Corps leadership, the Secretary General, and on the main screen, President Laura Bennett herself. "This is unacceptable," said Director Clark, slamming his hand on the table. "They accepted the Meribian Collective last year. And they don't even have a unified planetary government. The Meribians control 3 major trade routes," said another diplomat. "We don't have that kind of leverage." The room erupted in angry voices. Kate remained silent, thinking. President Bennett raised her hand and the room quieted. "What are our options? Do we protest? Threaten to withdraw from existing treaties?" "That would only confirm their belief that we're unpredictable," Kate said, speaking for the first time. All eyes turned to her. Kate had built her reputation on solving problems other diplomats couldn't. At 45, she wasn't the youngest ambassador, but she had earned respect for her unconventional approaches. Some called her methods unorthodox, others called them brilliant. "We need to be smarter than this," she continued. "The Council has rules about which species can have seats, but they also have protocols for diplomatic relations with non-member species." "What are you suggesting?" asked the President. Kate leaned forward. "They won't give Earth a seat at the, table? Fine, then we send me." "You?" Director Clark frowned. "One person, one diplomat, not as a council member, but as Earth's permanent representative to the Council. They can deny us a seat, but under their own laws they can't deny us diplomatic presence." The Secretary General shook her head. "Ambassador Rogers, that position would have no voting rights, no real power. It's not about power, not yet. It's about presence, about refusing to be ignored." Kate's eyes lit up as her plan took shape. "If they won't give us an official voice, we'll make an unofficial one so valuable they can't ignore it." President Bennett looked interested. "Go on." "I establish myself on Nexus Station where the Council meets. I build relationships. I find allies. I make myself useful in ways they don't expect. I find the cracks in their unity and I create opportunities for Earth." "That could take years," said another diplomat. "We've waited this long," Kate replied. "I'm willing to commit to this." The debate lasted hours. Some argued Kate's plan would antagonize the Council. Others said it wasn't bold enough. Through it all, Kate defended her vision, not as a perfect solution, but as the right next step. As the meeting finally wound down, President Bennett addressed the room. "We'll put it to a vote. All in favor of Ambassador Rogers' proposal?" The vote was close, 7-6 in favor. "Then it's settled," said the President. "Ambassador Rogers will represent Earth on Nexus Station, not as a council member, but as our voice in the galactic community." 2 weeks later, Kate stood in her apartment overlooking Lake Geneva, packing the few personal items she would take to her new home among the stars. A small wooden box, a gift from her grandmother, a real paper book, Don Quixote, her favorite, a small plant her niece had given her. Her comm unit chimed. "The ship is ready, Ambassador," Sam's voice announced. "Thank you, Sam. I'll be right down." Kate looked around the apartment one last time. She didn't know when she would see Earth again. The mission she was undertaking had no clear endpoint, no defined success criteria. The journey to Nexus Station would take 3 weeks in the fastest ship Earth could provide. It was an older vessel compared to the Council species technology, but it was the best they had. Kate found Sam waiting at the shuttle port. "Are you sure about this?" he asked as they walked toward the ship. "You're giving up a lot." "I'm not giving up anything," Kate replied. "I'm gaining the chance to make history." The small crew greeted her respectfully as she boarded. Captain Nancy Bell, a veteran of Earth's space fleet, offered a crisp salute. "Welcome aboard the Star Voyager, Ambassador. Your quarters are ready, thank you, Captain," Kate said. "I hope you don't mind, but I've invited someone to join us." Before the captain could ask who, a translucent blue figure appeared beside Kate, a holographic interface shaped like a young man in a simple uniform. "This is Max, my AI assistant," Kate explained. "He'll be helping me prepare during our journey." "Hello, Captain," Max said with a polite nod. "I look forward to working with you and your crew." The captain nodded, though Kate noted the slight hesitation. AI companions were still uncommon on Earth ships. As the Star Voyager prepared for departure, Kate stood at the observation window. Earth grew smaller below them, a blue and white jewel set against the blackness of space. "They think they've put us in our place," she said quietly to herself. "They have no idea what's coming." The ship's engines hummed to life, and Earth's single Diplomat began her journey to change the galaxy. Nexus Station appeared first as a bright point of light against the darkness. As the Star Voyager drew closer, the point grew into a massive structure. Kate stood at the observation window, taking in her first view of the Galactic Council's home. The station was enormous, shaped like a wheel with 8 spokes connecting to a central hub. Each section glowed with different colored lights. Ships of various sizes and shapes moved around it like busy insects. "It's beautiful," Kate whispered. "And intimidating," added Max, her AI assistant, appearing beside her as a blue hologram. "The station houses representatives from over 200 species." Captain Bell approached from behind. "We've been granted docking permission, Ambassador, but they've assigned us to the commercial sector, not the diplomatic bays." Kate nodded. The first slight but not unexpected. "That's fine, Captain. We work with what we're given." The Star Voyager docked smoothly at the assigned bay. Kate gathered her small team. Sam Winters, her human assistant, Dr. Lena Gray, Earth's leading xenobiologist, and Max, loaded onto a portable projection unit. 4 security officers would remain with the ship. "Remember," Kate told them as they prepared to disembark, "we are guests here, but we are not begging. We represent Earth with dignity no matter how they treat us." The airlock opened. Kate expected a diplomatic greeting party, but only a single alien waited for them. It had blue skin, 4 arms, and wore a simple gray uniform. "I am Trell, Station Operations," the alien said, in slightly accented English. "I will escort you to your assigned quarters." Kate stepped forward. "Thank you, Trell. I am Ambassador Kate Rogers of Earth." Trell did not bow or offer any gesture of respect. "Follow me, please." They walked through wide corridors filled with aliens of all shapes and sizes. Some walked on many legs, others floated above the ground. The air was filled with strange sounds and smells. Their assigned quarters were in a busy commercial section, far from the council chambers. The rooms were small and basic, clearly not designed for diplomatic functions. "These are adequate," Kate said, hiding her disappointment. "When can I meet with council representatives?" You have been granted observer status only, Trell said, flatly. You may attend public sessions but cannot speak. Your credentials and movement permissions are loaded on this. The alien handed Kate a small device. Good day. After Trell left, Sam couldn't contain his anger. This is insulting. These quarters are barely better than a storage room. Kate looked around the space thoughtfully. Then we'll make them more than that. Lena, can we rearrange this area to create a meeting space? Sam, find out what we're allowed to modify. What are you planning? Lena asked. If they won't give me access to their spaces, I'll create one of my own. We're going to establish the Earth office. Over the next 3 days, they transformed their quarters. They moved walls to create a welcoming front room with comfortable seating for various body types. Kate placed her small plant from Earth in a visible spot and hung a simple sign. Earth office, all species welcome. On the 4th day, their first visitor arrived, a small green alien with large eyes. Greetings, it said hesitantly. I am Priel, junior aide to the Meribian delegation. I heard an Earth representative had arrived. Kate welcomed Priel warmly. Would you like some water or Earth tea? The conversation started awkwardly but soon became friendly. Priel explained that many junior diplomats were curious about humans, but had been discouraged from making contact. The council elders believe humans are dangerous, Priel said. They show videos of your wars and conflicts. We have a violent history, Kate acknowledged, but we've learned from it. That's part of growing as a species. When Priel left, it promised to return and to bring others. Word spread quickly. The next day, 3 more junior diplomats visited. The day after, 7 came. By the end of the week, the Earth office had become a popular unofficial meeting place for lower-ranking diplomats. Kate listened more than she spoke. She learned about council politics, about which species held real power, about tensions and alliances. She heard complaints about the rigid hierarchies and traditions that governed council proceedings. The Vraxians control everything, complained one young diplomat from a newly admitted species. Without their approval, nothing changes. Tell me about the Vraxians, Kate said. The Vraxians, she learned, were an ancient reptilian species who had been among the council's founding members. They were conservative, tradition-bound, and deeply suspicious of younger species, especially humans. On her 10th day at Nexus Station, Kate finally attended her first council session as an observer. The chamber was massive, with tiered seating, arranged in a circle. At the center stood a holographic display showing the issue under discussion, trade routes in a disputed sector. Kate took her seat in the observer section, far from the council members. She watched as representatives made formal statements, following strict protocols of address. As the session ended, Kate noticed a tall, imposing reptilian figure watching her from the upper tier. The Vraxian's scales were deep red with gold patterns, and it wore elaborate robes marked with symbols of office. Ambassador Rogers, a station aide, approached her. Counselor Zurix of the Vraxian Imperium requests a brief meeting. Kate followed the aide to a small private room. Counselor Zurix waited inside, towering over her. So you are the human who thinks she can force her way into council affairs, Zurix said. His voice was deep and raspy. Not force, Counselor, participate. According to galactic law, Earth has the right to diplomatic representation. Observer status only, Zurix corrected. Your species is too young, too volatile. Your history is drenched in blood. A history we acknowledge and learn from, Kate replied calmly. May I ask, did your species never fight wars as it developed? Zrix's eyes narrowed. Our conflicts were orderly, following ancient codes of honor. Yours were chaotic, driven by emotion rather than reason. Perhaps that's why we ended them faster, Kate suggested. We recognized their futility. Clever words, Zrix said dismissively. But words change nothing. Earth was denied a seat for good reason. Your office in the commercial sector may entertain junior aides, but it will not change the council's decision. Time will tell, Counselor, Kate said with a slight bow. I appreciate your directness. As she turned to leave, Zrix added, "A word of advice, Ambassador. The Council moves slowly, by design. Those who try to rush its processes often find themselves removed from consideration permanently." Kate recognized the threat but kept her expression neutral. "Thank you for the advice. I look forward to working with the Council, at whatever pace is appropriate." That evening, Kate sat with her team reviewing what they had learned. "Counselor Zrix was behind our rejection," she told them, "and he's watching us closely." "What's our next move?" Sam asked. Kate looked at her small team. "We continue building relationships with the junior diplomats. They're our eyes and ears, and we find allies among the full Council members, species who might see value in human connections." Dr. Gray looked concerned. "The Vraxians are powerful enemies to make." "We didn't come here to make enemies," Kate replied. "But we didn't come to be ignored either. Tomorrow we start reaching beyond the junior diplomats. It's time to find out who among the Council might be willing to listen to a human perspective." Outside their window, the endless stars shone against the blackness of space. Somewhere out there was Earth counting on Kate to be its voice. She wouldn't let her planet down. 1 month had passed since Kate's arrival at Nexus Station. The Earth office had become a busy place. Diplomats from 30 different species had visited, though most were junior staff or aides. No Council members had come yet, but Kate was patient. Today she was trying something new. She stood in a busy market area in the commercial sector, setting up a small display of Earth items. Sam helped her arrange everything while Max projected Earth music softly in the background. "Are you sure about this?" Sam asked. "It seems a bit undignified for an ambassador." "Dignity doesn't always get results," Kate replied as she placed a small potted plant on the table. "Besides, we need to reach beyond diplomatic circles." Their display included photos of Earth landscapes, samples of safe human foods, and small handcrafted items. Kate had asked Earth to send these supplies on the last transport ship. Curious aliens began to gather around. Kate greeted each one warmly, answering questions about Earth and human culture. Some were merchants, others were station workers, and a few were visitors from distant worlds. A group of blue-skinned aliens approached. Kate recognized them as Meribians, members of a trading collective that had recently gained Council membership. "You are the human representative?" asked one, slightly taller than the others. "Ambassador Kate Rogers," she confirmed with a small bow. "Would you like to try some Earth chocolate? It's safe for Meribian biology." The Meribian hesitated, then took the small piece. After tasting it, its eyes widened slightly. "This is pleasant. I am Nex, 3rd Commercial Attaché to the Meribian delegation." "A pleasure to meet you, Attaché Nex. I've heard the Meribian Collective has the most efficient trade routes in the quadrant." This simple compliment sparked a conversation about trade. Kate listened carefully as Nex explained the challenges of Meribian commerce in Council space. "The older species control the main trade lanes," Nex said. "New members must pay high fees to access them. Earth has been developing alternative propulsion technologies," Kate mentioned casually. "They might offer new routes that aren't on the traditional lanes." Nex's interest was clearly piqued. "Perhaps we should discuss this further, in a more private setting?" "The Earth office welcomes visitors anytime," Kate replied with a smile. After Nex left, Sam leaned over. "That went well. The Meribians care about trade opportunities more than political alliances," Kate said. "That gives us an opening." 3Q. Next day, not only Nex but also the 2nd Commercial Attaché visited the Earth office. They brought technical questions about Earth's propulsion systems and trade potential. Kate shared general information but was careful not to promise more than Earth could deliver. "Our technology is still developing," she explained, "but we're looking for collaborative partners." The Meribians seemed pleased with this approach. Before leaving, the 2nd Attaché said, "We have a commercial council meeting next week. Would you attend as our guest?" This was exactly the kind of opportunity Kate had been hoping for. "I would be honored. The Commercial Council meeting took place in a large room filled with representatives from trading species. Kate noticed that while no senior council members were present, several mid-level diplomats attended. The discussion focused on a dispute between two trading planets over shipping routes. The debate grew heated, with both sides making increasingly angry statements. The meeting chair, a tall insect-like alien, struggled to maintain order. During a break, Kate approached the chair. "May I offer a suggestion?" she asked politely. The chair looked down at her with compound eyes. "You are the human observer. This matter does not concern Earth." "No, but I have experience in mediation. And as someone with no stake in this dispute, I might see options others don't." After some hesitation, the chair allowed Kate to speak. She proposed a compromise that would split the disputed route based on cargo type, rather than time or space sectors. This solution would benefit both planets according to their main exports. To everyone's surprise, both parties cautiously accepted the proposal. As the meeting ended, several representatives approached Kate to introduce themselves. One was a bird-like alien with bright red feathers. "Impressive solution, Ambassador Rogers. I am Krell, assistant to Counselor Tavi of the Avian Worlds." This was Kate's first contact with someone connected to a full council member. "Thank you, Assistant Krell. I'm glad I could help. Counselor Tavi has noticed your unusual approach to diplomacy. Moving freely between official functions and the station's common areas is not typical." Kate wasn't sure if this was criticism or praise. "Earth's position is unique. We must be creative." "Indeed." Krell's head tilted slightly. "The counselor wonders if you might join him for a private meal tomorrow. Informally, of course." "I would be delighted," Kate replied, careful not to show her excitement. That evening, Kate's comm unit buzzed with an urgent message from Earth. Dr. Alan Mitchell, Earth's leading energy researcher, had made a breakthrough in renewable energy conversion. The new technology could provide clean energy at twice the efficiency of current council methods. Sam read the report with growing excitement. This could be huge. Many council worlds have energy shortages. Kate nodded thoughtfully. "And the council's rules allow technology sharing from non-member species, as long as safety protocols are followed. Should we announce it?" Lena asked. "Not yet," Kate decided. "This is a card we should play carefully. Let me meet with Counselor Tavi first." The next day, Kate wore her formal diplomatic uniform to meet Counselor Tavi. His private dining room offered a spectacular view of nearby space, with a nearby nebula casting colorful light through the window. Tavi was older than Krell. His feathers faded to a soft orange. He greeted Kate with a formal wing spread gesture that she recognized as a sign of respect. "Ambassador Rogers, your solution at yesterday's meeting was elegant, simple, yet effective. Thank you, Counselor. Sometimes the best answers are the least complicated ones." As they ate a meal carefully selected to be compatible with both their biologies, Tavi spoke candidly about council politics. The older members, particularly the Vraxians, resist change. They believe the careful balance of power that has maintained peace for centuries should not be disrupted. "And humans would disrupt this balance?" Kate asked. "Humans adapt quickly. Most species take centuries to advance from planetary travel to interstellar capabilities. Yours did it in decades. This concerns many." "Adaptation is our strength," Kate said. "It could benefit the council, not threaten it." Tavi made a soft, trilling sound that Kate's translator didn't catch. "Perhaps. But change comes slowly here." As their meal ended, Kate decided to take a risk. Earth has recently developed a new energy technology. It could help worlds facing energy shortages. Tavi's feathers ruffled slightly, a sign of interest. "Technology sharing is permitted, even from non-members. We would be happy to share it with species who support reconsidering Earth's application." The counselor studied her carefully. "Bold, Ambassador, very bold. I will consider your offer." As Kate left the meeting, she received an urgent message. A dispute had erupted between two minor species on the station, and violence seemed possible. Station security was struggling to contain the situation. Kate hurried toward the disturbance, her mind racing. This crisis could be a problem, or an opportunity to demonstrate human diplomatic skills on a larger stage. Kate hurried through the crowded corridors of Nexus Station, following the sounds of angry voices ahead. The dispute had erupted in one of the main gathering areas where different species often met to socialize. Two groups faced each other, their body language clearly hostile even to human eyes. One group had thick gray skin and 4 arms each. The others were tall, thin beings with reflective scales covering their bodies. Station security officers formed a line between them, but they looked uncertain. Each species had different customs, and what might calm one could enrage another. "What's happening?" Kate asked a nearby observer, a small floating alien with multiple eyes. "The Gronk clan accuses the Shimmer tribe of stealing trade secrets," the alien replied. "The Shimmer say it's a false charge to damage their reputation." Kate assessed the situation quickly. The security officers were trying to separate the groups, but neither was backing down. She spotted Assistant Krell watching from the edge of the gathering. "This could escalate," she said, approaching him. "Has someone called for diplomatic mediation?" "It's being discussed," Krell replied. "But official mediators require approval from both parties, and neither is willing to wait." Kate made a quick decision. "I'm going to try something. Will you back me if needed?" Krell hesitated, then nodded. "Be careful, Ambassador." Kate stepped forward, moving past the security line. She stood between the two groups and raised her hands. "I am Ambassador Kate Rogers of Earth," she announced loudly. "I offer myself as a neutral party to hear both sides of this dispute." Both groups turned to look at her. There was a moment of confused silence. "Humans have no standing here," growled one of the 4-armed Gronk. "This is not your concern." "Precisely why I can be neutral," Kate replied calmly. "I have no history with either of your peoples. I only seek to prevent conflict on this station where we are all guests." The leader of the Shimmer group, distinguished by elaborate patterns on its scales, spoke next. "Why would we trust you with sensitive trade matters?" "Because Earth is developing its own trade relationships and has no interest in your secrets," Kate explained. "And because sometimes an outside perspective sees solutions others miss." The two groups exchanged looks. Kate could sense their hesitation, but also their desire to resolve the situation without losing face. "We will speak with you," the Gronk leader finally said. "But not here." Kate nodded. "There is a neutral meeting room in the commercial sector. We can go there now." To her relief, both groups agreed. As they moved away from the public area, Kate caught Krell's eye. The avian diplomat gave her a small nod of approval. For the next 3 hours, Kate listened as each side presented their grievances. The dispute was complex, involving proprietary manufacturing processes and accusations of corporate espionage. But Kate noticed something both sides missed. The stolen process had actually been independently developed by both species because of similar environmental challenges on their home worlds. "Your solutions are similar because your problems are similar," she explained, showing comparison charts on a display screen. "This isn't theft, it's convergent development." Neither side fully believed her at first, but when Kate suggested bringing in a neutral technical expert to verify her analysis, they reluctantly agreed. By the end of the day, the immediate crisis had been defused. As the two groups departed, still wary but no longer hostile, Counselor Tavi himself appeared. "Assistant Krell informed me of your intervention," he said, his feathers slightly raised in what Kate had learned was a sign of interest. "Impressive work, Ambassador." "Thank you, Counselor. It was a fortunate coincidence that I was nearby." "Was it?" Tavi's head tilted. "I find that humans often make their own fortune. Come, walk with me." They moved through quieter corridors away from the busy public areas. Tavi led Kate to an observation deck that offered a stunning view of nearby space. 3 standard weeks. "Go," Tavi said. A remote outpost near the edge of council space was attacked. All communication was lost. Kate hadn't heard about this. Was it pirates? Raiders? The council believed so at first. Then another outpost was hit, and another. Tavi's voice grew serious. The attacks show planning, strategy. This is not random. Violence. Has the Council identified the attackers? Evidence suggests the Voidwalkers are responsible. Kate had heard this name in whispered conversations. I was told they were just stories to frighten children. They are very real. A nomadic species that travels through the void between galaxies. They have approached Council space before, but never so aggressively. Why are you telling me this? Kate asked. The Council is meeting an emergency session tomorrow. As Earth's representative, you would normally be excluded from closed sessions, but... Tavi paused. I have arranged an exception. I believe you might offer a fresh perspective. Kate was surprised but kept her expression neutral. Thank you, Counselor. I'm honored by your trust. It is not about trust, Tavi said bluntly. It is about survival. The Council is divided on how to respond. Some demand immediate military action, others urge caution. The next day, Kate sat quietly in the emergency council session. The massive chamber felt tense as reports of the attacks were presented on large holographic displays. Counselor Zirix led those calling for military response. We must show strength. The Voidwalkers only understand force. Others counseled patience and further investigation. The debate grew heated. Kate studied the attack patterns displayed on the screens. Something about them seemed familiar. The tactical approach reminded her of something from Earth's history, not modern warfare but ancient conflicts. During a brief recess, she approached Counselor Tavi. The attack patterns are unusual, she said. They target communication systems first, but they don't maximize casualties. That's odd for an invasion force. Tavi seemed intrigued. What are you suggesting? I'm not sure yet, but I'd like to consult with Captain Bell of our ship. She has military experience. Tavi gave his permission and Kate sent a message to the Star Voyager. Captain Bell joined her quickly, studying the data. This looks like a probing action, Bell said after reviewing the information. Testing defenses, gathering intelligence, but some of these moves make no tactical sense unless... Unless what? Kate pressed. Unless they're trying to communicate something, Bell concluded. These patterns, they're too specific, too repetitive, it's almost like a language. When the council reconvened, Kate requested permission to speak. Zrix objected immediately, but Tavi and several other counselors overruled him. Kate stepped to the center of the chamber. Honored counselors, the attack patterns suggest these may not be simple acts of aggression. They may be attempts at communication. A murmur ran through the chamber. Zrix scoffed loudly. The human imagines diplomatic solutions where none exist. The Voidwalkers are known raiders, nothing more. Are they? Kate challenged. What do we actually know about them? Has anyone ever attempted communication? The silence that followed told her everything. No one had. Earth has a long history of conflict, Kate continued, but also a long history of resolving conflicts through communication. I request permission to investigate these attacks from a different perspective. Absurd, Zrix declared. The human has no authority here. But other counselors seemed intrigued. Tavi spoke up. I support Ambassador Rogers' request. Let her investigate. What harm can come from it? After heated debate, the council narrowly approved Kate's request. She would be allowed to join a scouting mission to the edge of council space, to the region where the attacks had occurred. As the session ended, Zrix approached Kate. You play a dangerous game, human. If you are wrong about the Voidwalkers, you risk not only your life, but Earth's future relations with the Council. And if I'm right? Kate asked. Zrix's reptilian eyes narrowed. Then the Council will have much to reconsider. Kate returned to the Earth office to prepare for the mission. Sam looked worried. This is a huge risk, he said. If this goes wrong... If it goes right, Kate replied, it could change everything. The Council needs to see that humans bring valuable perspectives. This is our chance to prove it. 3 days later, Kate boarded a Council scout ship bound for the edge of known space. She stood at the viewport as Nexus Station receded into the Distance, wondering what they would find in the darkness ahead. The Council scout ship Swift Wind moved silently through space. Kate stood on the bridge beside Captain Nev, a tall, blue-skinned alien with 4 eyes that could see in different directions. 3 days had passed since they left Nexus Station. They had visited 2 of the attacked outposts. Both showed the same pattern: communication systems destroyed but living quarters largely untouched. Few casualties, which seemed odd for what everyone called an invasion. "We are approaching the border region," Captain Nev announced. "Sensors are at maximum range." Kate studied the star map. They were at the edge of Council space, a vast border that stretched across thousands of light years. "What's beyond this border?" she asked. "Empty space for many light years. Then the great void between galaxies," Nev replied. "The Void Walkers come from there, though no one knows why or how they survived the journey." The bridge fell silent as they continued forward. Kate felt tension in the air. The crew expected an attack at any moment. "Captain," called a sensor officer suddenly, "I'm detecting a ship ahead, small vessel, unknown design." "Tactical alert," Nev ordered. "Weapons ready." Kate stepped forward. "Wait, let me see the ship." The main screen showed a dark vessel shaped unlike any Council design. It moved in a peculiar pattern, shifting direction frequently. "It's making the same movements we saw in the attack records," Kate said. "But it's not attacking us, even though it clearly sees us." "It's studying us," Nev suggested. "Or trying to communicate," Kate countered. "Captain, can we send a simple mathematical sequence? Universal communication basics." Nev hesitated, then nodded. "We will try, but weapons remain. Ready?" The communications officer sent a simple sequence. Prime numbers, the mathematics that many believed would be understood by any intelligent species. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the alien ship responded, with the exact same sequence, followed by new numbers. "They answered," Kate said excitedly. "They understand." Over the next few hours, they established a primitive form of communication. Kate worked with the communications team, building a simple language of mathematical concepts and basic ideas. "They're not attacking," Kate explained as understanding grew. "They're trying to find someone who will talk to them. The damaged communications systems were accidents. They didn't understand our technology." The alien vessel eventually sent coordinates, a nearby star system where a larger Void Walker ship waited. "It could be a trap," Captain Nev warned. "It could be first contact," Kate replied. "A real chance for peaceful communication." After consulting with Nexus Station, they received reluctant permission to proceed to the coordinates. When they arrived, they found not a warship, but an enormous vessel unlike anything in Council records. It appeared to be made of overlapping, dark plates that shifted and moved like a living thing. Using their rudimentary communication system, they arranged a meeting. Kate volunteered immediately. "This is what I came for," she told Captain Nev. "To represent humanity and find peaceful solutions." The meeting took place in neutral space, a small moon orbiting a gas giant. Kate wore a simple spacesuit and carried only communication equipment. 2 Council security officers accompanied her, though she had asked to go alone. The Void Walkers emerged from their shuttle, tall, slender beings with skin that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. They moved with fluid grace that suggested they were comfortable in zero gravity. Through careful, patient communication, Kate learned the truth. The Void Walkers were refugees, not invaders. Their home region in the space between galaxies was being consumed by a cosmic phenomenon they called the emptiness, something that destroyed everything in its path. They had come seeking new homes, but their attempts to communicate with Council outposts had been misunderstood as attacks. Their technology, adapted for void travel, interfered with Council systems in ways they hadn't anticipated. "They need help," Kate explained when they returned to Nexus Station 3 days later. "Not war." The full Council gathered to hear her report. Kate stood before them, no longer just an observer but the only person who had actually spoken with the Void Walkers. "The evidence is clear," she said, showing recordings from the meeting. "They are refugees seeking sanctuary, not invaders. Their technology is different, not hostile. Counselor Zrix interrupted angrily. They destroyed 3 outposts. They damaged communication systems while trying to make contact, Kate corrected. Their technology interferes with ours in ways they didn't understand. Once we established basic communication, they immediately stopped all aggressive actions. And we should believe this because one human says so? Zrix challenged. Counselor Tavi stepped forward. I have reviewed the evidence. Ambassador Rogers, assessment appears correct. The Void Walkers are not the threat we feared. Then what do they want? Asked another counselor. They want to survive, Kate said simply. They need habitable worlds far from the approaching emptiness. They have knowledge and technology to share in exchange for sanctuary. The debate lasted for hours. Some counselors supported Kate's assessment. Others sided with Zrix, arguing that the Void Walkers couldn't be trusted. Finally, Council Leader Mira, who rarely spoke at such sessions, rose from her seat. The chamber fell silent. For centuries, the Council has maintained peace through careful rules and traditions, she said, her voice soft but carrying to every corner. But peace is not merely the absence of conflict. It is the presence of understanding. She turned to Kate. Ambassador Rogers, through your unconventional methods, you have given us something valuable, a new perspective. The human ability to adapt, to see patterns others miss, has prevented what might have been a devastating conflict. Kate held her breath as the council leader continued. I propose 2 actions. First, we establish formal diplomatic relations with the Void Walkers, with Ambassador Rogers as lead negotiator. Second, we reconsider Earth's application for council membership. The chamber erupted in voices. Zrix and his allies protested loudly. Others voiced support. A vote, Council Leader Mira declared. On both proposals. One by one, councilors registered their positions. Kate watched, trying to keep her expression neutral as the numbers shifted on the display screen. When the voting ended, both proposals had passed, by a single vote each. The Council has spoken, Mira announced. Earth's application will be reconsidered, and Ambassador Rogers will lead negotiations with the Void Walkers. Kate felt a moment of pure joy, quickly controlled. This was a victory not just for her, but for all of humanity. As the session ended, Counselor Tavi approached her. Congratulations, Ambassador. Your methods were unusual, but effective. Thank you for your support, Kate replied. This is just the beginning. Indeed. Tavi seemed amused. The Council has existed for thousands of years with little change. Then humans arrive, and within months, everything begins to shift. Change can be good, Kate said. Yes. Tavi looked thoughtful. Perhaps that's what we needed. One voice that wasn't bound by our traditions, that could see solutions we missed. That evening, Kate sent a message to Earth with the news. Earth would soon have its council seat. The negotiations with the Void Walkers would be complex, but peace was possible. Standing at the viewport in the Earth office, Kate looked out at the stars. The Galactic Council had refused humans a seat, so Earth had sent a single diplomat instead. And that had made all the difference.